Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to another Sims 4 recreation speed build, which is a series where I recreate a TV or movie set into The Sims 4. So today, I am doing a really fun build, and that's because this is like my childhood. Dexter's Lab was one of my favorite shows as a kid, to be honest. I loved it. Science has always been really cool to me, and so that show was just awesome. And the reason I decided to do this build is because a friend of mine, and I know he's going to be listening to this, he was trying to prank me, troll me, whatever, saying that I should do all of these really lame builds that are not something that I would like to build in, but he mentioned Dexter's Lab, and so joke's on you because I actually did it, and it was awesome. I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, so the problem with builds like this, any build like this, all of my recreation builds, this is the number one problem. The set, the background, whatever it is, it doesn't stay the same. It never does. Through the seasons, like a TV set will change, they'll get new items, whatever. And that's true also with cartoons, any animated things. Not so much with like the 3D animation kind of stuff. I don't know if that's what you call it, but like the Pixar type of animation, the computer animated stuff usually stays pretty static. But this is a 90s cartoon. I'm pretty sure they drew everything by hand, so there was a lot of changes in every episode almost. Something is different. So yeah, I did the best that I could. I found some screenshots, I should say. The Dexter's Lab wiki page is actually pretty decent. So it had a lot of pictures of their house on there that I was able to use to get a decent reference. Mostly what I needed was colors, the type of furniture that's in there. The rest I can make up and do what I need to for it. So yeah, that's all. It's not perfect because the background isn't perfect, and you could have, it just changes. So there's like a million different ways that I could have built this house, but this is the way that I decided to build it, and it turned out pretty good. I even got the lab in. Getting his lab in the basement was honestly the most difficult part about this house, because I had to somehow fit in 2 sets of stairs, one from the top story to the ground floor, and then another one to the basement. And also I needed those stairs to be hidden, so that was kind of a challenge. I really had to figure out what layout of the house I needed to have. Also, I'm pausing for a really long time. I'm sorry. I was probably trying to figure out what setup I needed for this house. And actually, I changed the stairs from this even because I realized they were consistently the other way. So I had to switch them so that they're facing the back of, or the garage part of the house. Right now they're towards the back, but they needed to be towards the garage. So I ended up switching them, and I changed what I'm doing now. So this doesn't even, I should have just cut it out, but whatever. The build wasn't that long. I think it took me 3.5 hours or so to build this one, because there's not a lot to it. Once I got the layout right, the rest of it was pretty easy to furnish. The kitchen, I like the kitchen a lot. I think it's pretty accurate. I might have forgot curtains. Wait, did I forget curtains in the kitchen? I'll add curtains before I take the screenshots if I didn't, because I haven't taken any screenshots yet. But yeah. Oh, so what I'm doing now is there is a career object, I believe it's for the writer's career in The Sims 4, that unlocks a hidden bookcase door, which is literally literally perfect for Dexter's lab to be hidden behind. Like, there's like, from the intro, there's a rug that has the tube down to the basement, but in the show all the time, there's 2 bookcases in his rooms that slide open like doors to get to the lab, and so I put 2 hidden door bookcases in his room, and one of them is unusable because it's like over the stairs. There is only one space for the door that you could get in, so yeah, I had to leave it like that, but it works really well. It's kind of perfect that way, that those bookcase doors are in The Sims 4, because that is something that would be very hard to do without those bookcase doors, to have the hidden door to the hidden stairs to the hidden lab. I spent the afternoon watching Dexter's Lab too. The first season, I made it almost through the first season while I was building the house, and it was just so it's so fun to watch your childhood cartoons as an adult, honestly, because you catch all these things that you just never noticed as a kid, or you didn't, like, it never registered to you. Like, okay, for example, in one of the very first episodes, I think it's maybe the 2nd or 3rd episode, they introduce Simon, Dexter's rival at school or whatever, and he's in love with Dee Dee, and he and Dexter make a plan to lure Dee Dee to his house with a trail of candy, and then he invites her into the house with an offer of more candy. And I just the way they said it, oh, I got more candy inside, do you want to come upstairs? And she's just like, oh, sure. And wow, I can't believe I watched that as a child. That is some really bad mixed messages right there. I told my fiance, though, and he pointed out that Dee Dee is supposed to be basically an idiot, so if Dee Dee does something, that should tell kids watching that you should not do that thing, I guess. But I don't know if that logic really holds up, to be honest, so yeah. There's so many little jokes and hilarious things that they say, all the 90s phrases, all the little things that Dexter says, I just can't stop laughing at because they're just so hilarious. I think in one of the episodes he said, like, holy megabytes, and I just died laughing. I don't know why, but it's so funny. Cartoons are the best, honestly. It's the only time you can say really stupid things like that and have it actually be funny. Also, it's a kid cartoon, so I mean, you know. But anyway, I was having a good day rewatching Dexter and building this ridiculous, like, 70s home. I want to say it has a very 70s vibe to it. It's got, like, those crazy shag carpets, like the really bright colored ones too. The carpet in this house is actually purple, I believe, or like a pinkish purple. But to be honest, they didn't have a purple in The Sims 4, and I didn't like the way the pink looked, so I ended up going with a dark blue, which is pretty vibrant. It's by no means a subtle carpet color, so I think it's fine. It still fits the whole, like, aesthetic of this house, which is really weird colors and, you know, that kind of thing. Because it is a cartoon, so they needed to make things really vibrant, so they stood out from each other, which is something that they don't need to do in live action things, like an actual set. They don't need to make it crazy and noticeable. So sometimes live action things are easier, but the cartoon ones are honestly a little bit more fun because you do get more creative freedom with it. I really had to go on my own a little bit and find the layout of this house. I mean, you hardly ever see places like the bathroom, or you never see in the garage, I don't think. So I didn't even put a garage in, because why would I? You don't have cars in The Sims 4. I put the garage door on the outside, and then I put another small, like, 1 square room so that the garage wouldn't be showing on the inside. And just a forewarning, I am sorry if your Sims end up painting the garage, because that door is actually a mural place. It's like for the artwork on the wall, you can just make your Sim go paint on it, and they potentially will do it automatically, like they do most things randomly. So yeah, that might happen. I'm sorry if your garage door ends up painted. I don't know if you can even take it off. I never tried. Maybe. I've never really done any of the mural things from the Get Together pack. Like, they have all these little graffiti squares and things like that, but I've never used any of them. So yeah, I was having a little trouble with the layout of the living room, because that's something they change most of all in the show. Like, once it was the pink couch against the wall, and there was then a sliding glass door to the left with some purple curtains on it. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I should put the wall forward. In another part of the show, there's just the wall, no sliding door, and then there's like a nightstand that wasn't there before, or an end table, I guess I should say. And so yeah, the living room was the trickiest part, to be honest. The kitchen was easy because, well, it's not that they show it a lot, but you can kind of see that what everything is in all the shots that they show. They've got white cabinets with a light blue or sometimes a light purple countertop, so I chose these ones that are perfect. They just go really well with this build and all the bright weird colors that it has. And then they have the round table in the center of the room, and that's literally all the entire kitchen. There's nothing else to it. There's the window that has the sink in front of it, but I didn't like to have the sink in front of the window because it was off center. I know that sounds dumb, but I ended up putting the sink, I believe, in the wall space that doesn't have the window, because then it's sort of in the middle there. I might have deleted that other window, actually. I can't remember. But if there's no curtains on the window that I left for sure, then I'll have to put some curtains there, because there are some pretty obnoxious curtains always in that window. There's like pink ones, purple ones, green ones at one point. So yeah, I will add those if I do not add them later. I put all the science equipment in Dexter's lab, obviously. There's some things that I left out, though. I didn't put the observatory because, well, it's in the basement, so I'm not really sure that makes sense. I don't even know if you could use it in the basement. I mean, probably technically yes, but I just left it out because I didn't feel like that made sense for anybody else except possibly a sim, maybe. But yeah, I think there's like the chemical and an analyzer, a microscope thing. I know there's something else too. You know what I didn't put in though? And I totally just realized that. What is wrong with me? I never put in the child science table. The one that's actually for children that child Sim Dexter could actually use in his laboratory. Wow. Wow. Wow, I can't believe I would have forgotten that. Did I forget it? I'm pretty sure I forgot it. Yeah. Well, that's embarrassing. What a good lab I made. He can't use any of the equipment in it, and the one thing that he could use that is similar to what he actually needs to do is not in there. I made up this little office area in the back because there was just this whole garage space that I didn't know how to fill. So I sort of made it like this weird little lounge room area where there's like the chess table and the microphone. I was blanking on the word there. Yeah, the microphone for comedy, and I think just comedy. Wait, you can't do charisma on it, can you? No, I don't think so. I did decide to put purple curtains over the archway because I felt like, I don't know, it looked good. It looks bright. I just wanted the whole house to be all of these weird colors together because that's just the aesthetic of this house. So I decided to get that as best that I could. I put the cool science door in Dexter's room. I know the upstairs isn't great. The hallway isn't big enough, but I really couldn't make it any bigger with the house. There's not even, like, when they show the house from the outside, there's not even an upstairs to it. Just those small little windows that you can see that jut out from the roof, but those don't even need to have a first or a second floor to come out. So yeah, but there is a second floor in the house, so I had to make it a little bigger. But I still couldn't make it huge, and the proportions are really off when you try to put them in realistically, if that makes sense, because it's a cartoon, so they don't have to worry about proportions. Like in one of the episodes, the side of the house got blown up and literally the entire second floor was just Dexter's room. So yeah, things like that happen where I just kind of have to guess and make up where things are. This is the parents' room that I'm working on right now. You really don't see it that often, but what you do see is that it's a very, very light blue on the walls and the floors, and then there is a lighter purple vanity table. So put the vanity table in. It's darker than I wanted it to be, but it's fine. Like I said, it's full of color. I'm not actually sure you can get on both sides of that bed though, so be forewarned about that. There is a canopy bed in Dee Dee's room, but unfortunately the only canopy bed is a double bed, and it was way too big to fit in this room, so I had to give her a single bed. But mostly I just tried to make it pink. She has a dollhouse in her room, she has a bunch of stuffed animals, so I put the stuffed unicorn in there. I left her as a child because I know Dee Dee is supposed to be older than Dexter, but I'm pretty sure Dexter is supposed to be like 5 or something. He's really small. And then Dee Dee, I don't really know how old she's supposed to be, but I would probably guess maybe like 9, somewhere there. So she's still a child as well. And here's Dexter's room. He has a blue bed and lots of science posters, and I think he has a desk in his room that I saw at one point. And that's pretty much all. I put the orange rug in because I thought, you know, you could pretend that it's going to go down to the lab. And here is the lab, finally. It's a pretty quick thing. I just fill it with science stuff. And that's about the end of this speed build, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I post Sims videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!
At your own peril, past a bolted door where impossible things may happen that the world's never seen before.
In Dexter's laboratory lives the smartest boy you've ever seen. But Dee Dee blows his experiments to smithereens. There is gloom and doom while things go boom in Dexter's lab.